Welcome to 49ers After Dark. We're your hosts, Cohn, Jessie Naylor. Niners in this playoffs. Big week. I thought I was going to be on vacation. I picked the Rams to win last week. I was wrong. The Rams were wrong. I was right. Sean McVay, you were wrong. What were you thinking? Anyway, Jessie, pleasure to see you. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, Grant. For those of you that don't know, tomorrow is Grant's birthday, so wish him a happy early birthday.
How you know
This
that?
man's about to be what 34,
34. How you
35?
know that?
Yeah.
Sources.
Things
Sources.
happen. Yeah, I got
Sources.
sources.
Well, thank you. Appreciate
Yeah,
it. Thank you
absolutely.
very much. Okay, so today we're talking about the Niners, their concerns heading into the playoffs, what they're confident about heading into the playoffs. We're going to play the over-under game. We're going to give a prediction. We're going to lay out the keys to the game, and we're going to discuss whether we were flat out wrong about Jimmy Garoppolo. But first, there's news. Apparently, Trent Williams is going to play in this game. He didn't play in the last game, didn't practice today, going to play against the Cowboys, or he says he's intent on playing. That's good news. And I've been waiting for that news. I was like holding off on making a prediction, but now that I hear that, I feel like I'm ready. How do you feel about this news?
Yeah, I feel great about it. It sounds like he was pretty close to playing last week.
Yeah.
It's crazy,
No,
right? Because I feel like if you were close, that was legit a playoff game for them. It was win or go home for the most part.
it was
So
definitely a playoff game.
yeah, so I don't know
Why
how
didn't he
close he
play last
was.
week? To me, like, didn't it seem that Kyle was a little surprised? I mean, he
I don't know
said
if I
like,
pulled that from
you
it.
know, he couldn't. He seemed surprised because the way that he spoke all week was he doesn't need to practice. He'll be. I mean, if he can play, and I guess the way I saw it was, I don't know, not in his body. But I just can't believe that he would have he could have gone on the field and been worse than Colton McKivitz. Not that McKivitz was terrible, but I feel like Trent Williams is the kind of guy who is very conscious of his stats. And he was the highest graded PFF dude of all time. And he like ended the season that way. Had he played in this game at like, 50% or whatever, probably would have compromised that grade. And I wonder, like, did he say, it's borderline? I'm going to say no. But now that it's the playoffs and like, PFF grades no longer matter, it's like, oh yeah, like I'm down. Like I'll put the brace on. To me, like all I'm saying is I was extremely shocked when he didn't play. And I think everyone was. And I got a call from a coach, a former coach, someone who used to be in the league a couple of days after saying, what the hell was that with Trent Williams? Like he couldn't have put an elbow brace on. And like, because usually the expectation with offensive linemen is, you got a broken hand, you play through it. Anything, you play through it, right? You wrap it up, tape it up, brace it up. Anyway, all I'm saying is I'm getting to know Trent Williams. And in hindsight, I'm not surprised he didn't play in the season finale. And I'm definitely not surprised he's going to strap it up and play in the playoffs.
Yeah, I'm not surprised he's going to play. It is kind of interesting because this is a man that calls himself the Silverback,
Yep.
and I gotta believe that he's every. I mean, that dude's a bad boy. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, watching this guy on film is a pleasure week in and week out. He just bullies defensive linemen and backs. It's great to watch. But yeah, I don't know if I'll go as far as you, but I definitely think that he is conscious of those things. Remember, this is a guy that took like 0.1 million extra just so that he could be the highest paid tackle
Yeah.
in the league, right? There's some ego there for sure.
No
And
doubt.
and
He deserves it.
there's
It
nothing wrong with
reminded me
that.
a little bit
Yeah.
of Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is very conscious of those things too. Aaron Rodgers is the best of the best at his position, just like Trent Williams. And anyway, I feel like he's just conscious of his numbers, his stats, his grades. Anyway, Trent Williams coming back. Good news for the 49ers.
That's huge. No, that's absolutely huge because this defensive line, you look at it with Parsons right there, he's an absolute freak. And if Trent Williams isn't in, you've got to help on both sides potentially. You don't know where he's going to line up. Now it doesn't matter. Trent Williams on an island against Parsons, I'll take that matchup all day long.
Hard to pick the Niners to beat the Cowboys without Trent Williams. That's all I'm saying.
Oh,
It's
I
hard.
wouldn't. I wouldn't pick
I
them. No.
wouldn't, yeah, not with confidence. Happy birthday, Grant. Thank you, Neil. Who's going to be the X factor?
I'll give you the X factor. Ambry Thomas is the X factor
That's a good one.
because I feel like right now that defense is very solidified, and this kid is either going to play really well and give them something that they have not had in a long time, which is two real legit corners, or he's going to have moments where he has mental lapses and he's going to give up either big time touchdowns or penalties or what have you. It could go either way. I'm going to go with Ambry Thomas.
I like that one. I'm also going to go with Jawan Jennings. He's really stepped up in the Kendrick Bourne role. He had 2 touchdowns last week. I think he's one.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, he is.
All right. Happy birthday, Grant. Thank you, David. California Bears says I'm rooting for Philly because if they win, they get to play Green Bay and they are looking scary. I'm rooting for Philly too because I don't want to go to Green Bay. I don't want to go.
It's so cold.
I don't want this cold, and it's not easy to get there. You can't get direct flights. Like, please.
You can ride a bike to the stadium, Grant, from your hotel room, like the players. It'll be fun.
Okay, so the 49ers play-by-play announcer, Greg Papa, went on the radio today and said the Niners should extend Jimmy Garoppolo for 3 years. As in, he's under contract next year, so another 3 years after that. He said at $12 million a year. That's kind of low. What was your reaction to that suggestion from the 49ers play-by-play announcer?
Well, my first reaction was like, no way. 12 million a year is not going to get it done. This guy's off of his rocker, and there's no way Jimmy's coming back next year. But then I started to think, this guy's around the team a lot, Grant.
Mm-hmm.
And for him to come to the conclusion that he thinks Jimmy is good enough to bring back and Trey may not be ready to play next year, that was a little bit worrisome. Like, what if anything? He may not know anything, but to me, it's like, is that the feeling of the organization right now? Is that the feeling of Shanahan? Like, what is going on right now? Because before this, I would have said it's a locked deal. He's not coming back. And I still pretty much feel that way. But it does give me some pause because this guy is that close to the organization.
Yeah. Okay. So he's suggesting 3 years, $12 million a year. That sounds like he's saying the Niners should sign Jimmy Garoppolo to be Trey Lance's backup. Does that not? It sounds like what he's saying, right?
Well, he said he wants them to split time or whatever that means. I don't know. Yeah, what a lot of what he said was off his rocker. Okay, here's basically the whole statement. He says, okay, well, let's say he hits the open market and a team's willing to redo his deal, 2-year, $50 million, $34 million guaranteed, right?
What?
So that's what he was saying. So let's say like the Saints offer him that, right? He's like, the 49ers can come back and say, okay, well, you're getting 34 guaranteed. You can just stay here. We'll give you 36 guaranteed over 3 years. Maybe he's willing to do that.
Okay. Seems like a terrible idea. The Niners have his replacement. They already made their judgment on Jimmy Garoppolo. And they were hoping he would do this year. I think they were hoping he would do more than what he did this year. Like, he threw 27 touchdown passes in 2019. He threw 20 this year. I think they were hoping he would do a little bit more because, they have Brandon Ayuk and George Kittle, and the supporting cast is legit. I don't know. It seems like the plan is 1 more year of him and then trade him and turn the team over to Trey. Like, Trey looked really good against the Texans. Why wouldn't you feel? It seems like what the Niners have said the whole time is we're following Chiefs model of the Alex Smith, Patrick Mahomes transition. So far, it's been pretty much going exactly like that. Like, why wouldn't you? He looked really good in the last game, Trey Lance, unless you just prefer quarterbacks with worse skill sets. I mean, if that's what you want.
Yeah,
I don't get it.
I don't understand it either. Like I said, really the whole thing doesn't make sense to me. The way he laid it out doesn't make a lot of sense. The reasons don't, but it's like, again, what is he hearing? What I feel like that's not coming. Like, okay, one of two things is happening. Either one of three things is happening. Either he's just making blind assumptions. This is what I want.
No.
Or
here's what's happening. I'll tell you.
Okay.
Okay. He's trying to help the Niners.
That's okay. That was one of my three. Yes.
He's trying to help the Niners. He's trying to build up his trade value. This is Greg Papa going above and beyond. End of story. Like,
yeah, that was one of three options, and that's kind of where I might be going with it. I don't know. We'll see. But
no one told him to do this, but he's thinking, the Niners are going to like me even more because I'm going to help them build up. No. Right. And first of all, like 3 years, $12 million a year. That's just Jimmy wouldn't. want to do that. You think Jimmy
No,
wants to
not a
come here and
chance.
be Trey Lance's long-term backup?
No.
Jimmy sees himself as a franchise quarterback. God love him. He should see himself that way. He's not going to capitulate and say, yeah, I'm a Niner. I just want to be here and help Trey. Like, nah. So, no, this is not going to happen. But thank you for your suggestion. This is like something you would read out of a suggestion box. Like, I thank you for writing it. I guess.
Pull it out, read it, crumple it up, and just
I
toss it to the
guess
side.
3 years. No, I mean Trey Lance needs a backup, but it shouldn't be Jimmy. It's not fair to Jimmy, and it's not fair to Trey. Honestly, you think at some point as a head coach, you would want the locker room to like solidify and rally around one quarterback, right?
Yeah,
Right?
you would think. Yeah,
You want to continue this drama on another year? It wasn't fair to Jimmy this year, and it wouldn't be fair to Trey next year to keep this going. Pick one. Greg, this is the worst idea I've ever heard. It's the worst suggestion.
Yeah, he's got a lot of them, but that was definitely one of them for sure.
If Dallas beats us, it'll be through the air, agree or disagree.
Yeah. Yeah, they're not going to be able to run the ball very well on the 49ers. The 49ers, what they've given up less than 91 yards in 8 of the last 9 games they've played. I don't really see Dallas running the ball like crazy, but they can
It's
throw
not
that
that
pill.
If the Niners have another one of these 3-point first halves, they're going to lose to Dallas. End of story.
Yes.
So because the thing is, Dallas, their run game isn't great, but they can ice a 17-point lead in the second half, unlike LA with Sony Michel and Cam Akers. It wasn't even their fault. Like, they have 3 run plays on the Rams. What the hell is that? They need Mike McDaniel so bad. They're in dire need of Mike McDaniel. MVP, most impactful plays can be seen on TV. War's impact is preventing explosive plays from happening that require all 22 to see depleted secondary. Brady's very smart. Yes. Defensive.
Yeah, she's right. There's no doubt about that. I mean, it has to be, right?
Bosa's. But she's saying Ward's impact is even, it's interesting. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Bosa's really good, but like the Niners, lost to Colt McCoy with Nick Bosa on the field. They've lost. They've had some bad. It's interesting to quantify value. When they didn't have Jimmy Ward, they were screwed. They're screwed. I'm just saying. But we haven't seen him without Nick Bosa this year, have we?
No, we saw it last year, but the problem was everybody was out last year.
Happy birthday, Grant. Thank you. Does Dallas have the depth at D-line like we do? No. No.
They do have some depth. That's one of the strengths of their defenses. They have depth over there. They do.
They have Randy Gregory, Tank Lawrence.
Yep.
Micah Parsons. One more dude who has like 6 sacks. Yeah, they have like 4. They're pretty good D-line.
And they rotate like four defensive tackles in and out pretty regularly. They do.
Mark says agree on Trent Williams, Grant. Thank you, Mark. It's a little transparent, I think. All of a sudden. I mean, highest graded PFF player of all time. Nice. Go get that bonus. Daniel says, happy birthday, Grant. Thank you. If Ambry and Bosley ball out, do you feel confident in those 2 as starters next year? Should they sign a better free agent? Yeah, if they ball out in the playoffs, I would. I feel confident in Mosley as a starter, and Ambry is certainly making a case. But you would probably want to hedge your bets and keep drafting because it's an important position.
Yeah, that and or bring in a key veteran like
not Verrett.
Yeah, not Verrett, right? But somebody like a Verrett that's just healthy, right? Yeah, that'll be cheap, good player, can push him for a starting role, probably won't beat him, but is good in case somebody goes down. Yeah.
Grant gonna pick against SF the whole playoffs. I know it. Oh, are you gonna pick me to pick against Are you picking me to pick against the Niners? Oh, let's see. Put your money down. You already put $5. He already put $4.99 down on it. Well, we'll see. Know your personnel. Trey is my baby daddy, says Jennifer Torres. Interesting to know. Trey has a baby mama named Jennifer Torres, and he don't T.O. But that's important playoff game. That's why Jimmy's my ex. Those interceptions killed our relationship. Thank you, Jennifer. Appreciate it. That was interesting. Wow. Battle between Lamb and Ayuk. Yes, those 2 were first-round picks last year. Good point. Will be very interesting. Kyle says, what's up? Will you be in Dallas? Yeah, Arlington. I'm coming from SC. SC, South Carolina. Do you think we travel as well to Dallas? Hold on. Do you think we travel as well to Dallas? I went to the Jacksonville game and we took over there too. I think we are about to go on a run. You talking about the fans? Yeah.
Yeah.
It
So
was impossible to get a hotel room. Yes, I think there're going to be a lot of fans there.
yeah, there will be, but I mean that Jacksonville, it was a full-on home game. I don't know if it'll be like that. I would say like a 60-40 split probably, I think is probably what the Niners can pull off and get 40%. That'd be great.
Thank you, Adrian. Love y'all too. HBD fam, night is still
Happy
young.
birthday.
Go out. Oh, thank you. Have a nice time with the wifey. My dad's coming over. I tested negative for COVID today, so my dad's coming over. We're gonna have a nice time.
There
Thank you,
go.
Niners, for the test. Who's more important in this game, Mitchell or Debo? I mean Debo, but then Mitchell. To me, they're so good. That is the engine right there. That 1-2 punch is what makes the Niners legit contenders. Those two.
Yeah, you got to have them both.
You gotta have 'em both.
You got to have them both. Period.
Like they've been on this in crazy run since they lost to Colt McCoy. Right, 7 of 9 they've won. The 2 games they lost in Seattle without Debo, and they lost in Tennessee without Elijah Mitchell. That's what happened.
Yep.
You know?
That's true.
Because give Kyle credit, like he's really figured out how to use his personnel. If he had been, I keep saying, if he had been calling plays and using his personnel in the Super Bowl the way he uses it now, Jimmy would be a champion. Kyle would be a champion. Trey Lance would not be a 49er. It would be a whole different thing, but at least he figured it out.
Yeah.
The best game plan is to run like we did against the Packers in the 2019 NFC Championship game where too physical, keep Dallas off the field. Yeah. Don't you agree?
I think that's the best game plan in all playoffs. If they can have Jimmy throw the ball 8 times a game, perfect game plan.
Yeah. There's a lot more donations. We're going to get to them in a minute, but I want to get back to our show. Jesse, are we flat out wrong about Jimmy Garoppolo? And what would it take him to do for us to actually change our opinion on him?
Okay, this is this is like the biggest topic every week, like the biggest topic of contention. And like I have Jimmy Garoppolo as the 17th ranked quarterback in the NFL. And people are like, "Oh, you're a hater, whatever." But then I check NFL.com and they've got him at 18 and ESPN has him at 20. So I'm like, all right, well, I can't be that far off my rocker. I just go off of what I see. And then when you look at the numbers, you look at the advanced stats, he's still a turnover machine. He still can go out there and do really good things in a game, but do really bad things in a game. And I want to get back to something that you said, Grant. You called him the arsonist and the fireman, right?
Yeah.
Which I think is a great analogy, but I'm going to take it a step further. I think
Nick Wright thought it was a good analogy too.
He did. He used it. Yeah, he did. Just right there.
Shout out Nick Wright. Thanks for watching.
But I'm going to go a step further. That Rams game had some weird ebbs and flows, right? And I don't necessarily know if it was all on Jimmy. And I said it throughout the game. This game's not on Jimmy, but he shouldn't be playing. That's what I said in the first half. But he is the arsonist and the fireman in the sense that if he doesn't light the fire in the Tennessee game, they don't have to put it out in the Rams game.
Exactly.
They're already in the playoffs.
Right.
So I agree with you on
or
that.
Seattle.
Right.
Yeah.
He really hasn't. I mean, if you look at the numbers and you just look at it objectively, like take your emotion out of it. First of all, that was a regular season game. People are like, it's going to forever live in infamy. I'll never forget this. It's a week 17 game. Like I understand we're excited now. We're happy we're in the playoffs. In 10 years from now, you guys are not going to give a crap about this. Super Bowls, playoff games. I don't remember. If I think of my top 10 moments in 49er history, maybe the pick at the stick comes to mind. That's a regular season game. But outside of that, like you don't remember regular season games, not for a franchise that wins. So he has not been playing well, period. He didn't play well against the Bengals. He didn't play well against Seattle. He played well against the Falcons, but people gave Trey crap for playing well against the Texans, and the Falcons have a way worse pass defense. He didn't play well against Tennessee, and he had 4 good drives and 3 horrific drives against the Rams. Like, I'm sorry. I want more for this team. There's a reason Trey's here. So no, I don't think that we're wrong about Jimmy Garoppolo.
Yeah, I don't think we're wrong about Jimmy Garoppolo at all. I mean, here's the way I look at it. I tweeted this out earlier. There's a lot of emotion around this right now. It was a comeback victory. It was cool. They had a 0.4% chance to win at one point. They came back and won. Whatever. This season, Jimmy Garoppolo played 15 games. Was it 15? 15 games.
Yeah.
And he won 9 of them. He went 9-6. And he threw 20 touchdown passes and 12 interceptions. Okay. So, like, forget about how you feel about what happened in LA. That's what he did this season.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just look back at Jared Goff last year on the Rams. Because the Rams are kind of like the Niners sister team, same kind of deal. Sean McVay's been there the same amount of time that they have the same philosophy. Sean McVay had Jared Goff and he had a 13-3 season out of Jared Goff, just like Kyle Shanahan got out of Jimmy Garoppolo. They went to the Super Bowl with Jared Goff, just like Kyle Shanahan did with Jimmy G. But then it didn't work out. And last year was like the end. It was the end in LA for Jared Goff. He went 9-6 and threw 20 touchdown passes and 13 interceptions. So Sean McVay and the Rams decided enough is enough and got rid of him. That's where the Niners are right now with Jimmy. Now, maybe he goes on an incredible run in the playoffs like Eli Manning did a couple of times on the Giants. Maybe he will. We shall see. But barring that, I feel like the Niners should treat him like the Rams treated Jared Goff. Because if you sent Jimmy Garoppolo to like the equivalent of the Detroit Lions, he's gonna go like 3-14. All that winning aura that he had is gonna wear off. And I want to say something like the fact that Jimmy Garoppolo has this loyal and deep of a fan base and freaking Jared Goff doesn't is all about optics. Optics. Every time I do a show and someone mentions how handsome Jimmy Garoppolo is and my wife is in the room, she looks at me and cringes like, what is that about? And I'm with her like, I don't get it. I don't understand why guys are so caught up on how Jimmy looks, but at the same time I do. It's not an attraction thing. It's like guys want quarterbacks to look a certain way. And Jimmy, for whatever reason, looks the way they want a quarterback to look. And Jared Goff doesn't. Eli Manning never did. Like Eli Manning got, derision forever. Why? I mean, he's Jimmy with actually a better arm, but equally as mistake prone and all that stuff. But Jimmy's just better looking than Eli Manning. So people are more proud to say that's my quarterback than Eli, who's like, kind of squirrely over there. I don't know. But really, it's about his face. It's his jaw. It's his face. Other than that, if he didn't look the way he looked, people would just be making fun of him and he'd be Jared Goff.
Yeah, you might be right about that. I took that. You had that stat, or you talked about how the Titans game and the Rams game were identical to you. And you look at the numbers, they were almost identical. So I took it and I made it a Twitter poll.
Identical QBR, 46.1, both games.
Yep.
Crazy.
So I took it and I made it a Twitter poll, and 78% picked the Titans game stats. So then everybody got mad and was like, well, context. I go, okay, well, here's some context for you. They were both road games.
Yep.
They were both regular season games.
Yep.
They both had unforeseen adversity.
Yep.
Both of them had a hurt thumb involved. Yep. Both were against good defenses. Both had 90-plus yard drives in the final offensive drive for the 49ers to tie the game.
In the fourth quarter?
Yep.
The difference is that Eric Armstead made a play in LA and not in Tennessee. That's the only difference, because really Jimmy could have been, if Eric Armstead makes that sack in Tennessee, who knows? Jimmy could have been the hero in overtime, but it didn't go down like that.
Or even this, let's say they kick the field goal in overtime, right? Like he throws the short out to Kittle, and then Ambry Thomas doesn't get the interception, and the Rams go score a touchdown. How does everybody view that game now?
Yeah. What if Stafford threw that ball 5 yards further and Ambry Thomas is just, beat and it's a touchdown? That's right. Thank you. Yep. So no, I don't think I'm wrong about Jimmy Garoppolo, but we'll see. Maybe he'll win the Super Bowl this year.
Right.
Let's answer some questions. Ricky says, you think we're going to see another TL celebration on the star moment from one of our wide receivers?
Nah.
No, man.
No.
That was before they were really, that was a long time ago. Long time ago. NFL redraft Lamb or Kinlaw Ayuk. Lamb.
Yeah, I don't. I like Ayuk a lot. I don't know. I still hold out hope that Ayuk can actually be on that level. I really do. I think he's that good. But man, Kinlaw's really hasn't done anything, and I don't know if he ever will. So that's right now. You'd have to lean Lamb.
I would have to lean Lamb.
A great question.
But Ayuk has been really stepping up big time recently.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he has.
But
I don't know what. I also don't know what Lamb would look like with Jimmy Garoppolo as his quarterback. Like, there's a lot of factors there.
Yeah. Hold on. Brittany Brown again says, by getting a playoff berth, have John Lynch and Kyle Shanahan demonstrated enough during the season to remain above reproach? No. Absolutely not. Hold on. Before the season, when the schedule came out, I keep coming back to this. We did this. We did a show together. I said 10-7. Fans were pissed about that. And they were like, 12-5 minimum. All of a sudden, 10-7 and a wild card berth is above reproach. Like, no. I'd like to see them. I'd like to see a little bit more, please.
Yeah, nothing's gonna happen to either one of them.
I'm not gonna get fired
once you make a playoff, but you still got to show me more, right? Like, does this Trey thing work out? There's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Kyle has never lost a playoff game. Thoughts?
Non-Super Bowl. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know.
I guess that would have to be it. No, he did. They lost in Washington. They lost. Yeah.
Sushi Juice. Good name though. Ivan Tina says, Jesse and Kyle going gray fast forward. Must be this season. Here comes $5 just for men. Go Niners. Yeah, both of them really grade hard, right? Where'd you get your Korean barbecue in LA? Parks Barbecue, dude. This place, good. I'd never been there before. It was just in Koreatown. It was nothing special from the outside, but like inside, it was like first of all, it was $50 for the galbi ribs, and it was just freaking amazing. Because galbi ribs always great, but this was really juicy. It was like a high-end steakhouse version of Korean barbecue.
Oh, really?
Dope. It was so good. I went there for lunch, but apparently if you go there for dinner, it's hard to get into.
Yeah, I bet.
Parks Barbecue. Hella good. Papa's employed by the team, so he's a mouthpiece for them. He's being used to try and pump up Jimmy's trade value. Mm-hmm. Man, he's trying. No, I don't believe anyone was like, Papa, say this. He's just trying to. He's a low man on the totem pole, trying to make himself like, hey, I helped out, right? Like, no.
Trying to be a good soldier.
Exactly. I would extend Jimmy Garoppolo to a 6-year, $345 million deal. He has 10K yards in just 43 games, which took 64 for Montana. Thank you, Aruna. Yeah, can we get happy birthday, Grant? Thank you, Nathan. Jimmy Pump fake for your birthday. Can't wait. I'm not doing any more Jimmy Pump fakes. Can't wait for Sunday. 2 historic franchises going at it. Niners, Debo, MVP. I can't wait to go, man. This is back when I was a fan. This was the rivalry.
Yep.
I don't want the quarterback that needs to sneak us into the playoffs. Week 18 with all that talent, Trey can develop into a quarterback that can guarantee a playoff spot. Yo, if Stafford could sneak like Jimmy could sneak, maybe they wouldn't have got sacked on 3rd and 1 at the end of the first half. God, that still kills me. That was a dumb call.
So stupid.
So stupid. Happy birthday. Thank you, Dean. Homie, love the content. We made it. I don't know who you is, but thank you. We did. Aruna, when Seahawks GM opens, apply. Yeah. I like that. All right. What is the 49ers' biggest concern heading into the playoffs?
Oh, man. Jimmy Garoppolo? Like, it's got to be. This dude, again, he's had multiple interception games. Like,
2 in a row.
He hasn't thrown more than 1 touchdown in the last 3 games. He's had 2 games in a row where he's had at least 2 turnovers and tried to turn it over a 3rd time. This guy turns it over a lot. He played how many games? 16? He had 15 turnovers in his career with the 49ers. 45 games started, 46 turnovers.
Is that true?
Yes. 45 games started, 46 turnovers in his career with the 49ers. He's going to turn the ball over because guess what? Dallas takes the ball away, I think, to the tune of 38 this season. That's a minimum of 1 this dude's going to give up. So, is that going to be the difference in a game? Can the team overcome it? They haven't been able to. 7 out of the 9 games when he's turned it over through an interception, they've lost. So that is the biggest concern. It has to be. This dude's inconsistent, and it's the most important position in football. He's worse than Dak. He's worse than Aaron Rodgers, Brady, Kyler Murray, Stafford, all of them. So when they go in, they are outgunned at the most important position in football.
Yeah, you pretty much laid it out. All right, let me try to say something different because I agree. All right. How about the fact that no matter which quarterback the Niners have played, Trey Lance, Jimmy Garoppolo, last 2 games, 3 points at halftime, last 2 games. And they were able to win both of them because the first time they played Houston and the second time they played the Rams, who have no run game and couldn't seal the victory. But if they have 3 points against the Cowboys at halftime, I bet you they're going to lose. I bet you they're going to lose. So while I do think that Jimmy Garoppolo is the Niners' biggest concern, it's also fair to say that this first half crap is, maybe a Kyle issue. Maybe it's quarterback independent because both of them had 3 points at halftime. So this whole first half struggle, figured it out late. I don't know. It's not going to fly against Dallas and Dallas. So that's another one. Also, I got one more.
Yeah,
Elijah Mitchell getting hurt every 2 or 3 games. And when he goes down, I look at this team differently. I like Jeff Wilson Jr., but all of a sudden when Elijah Mitchell comes back, they don't trust him to have any carries. Like if Mitchell breaks down, this team breaks down. So there's that. He's broken down 4 or 5 times this year, and he didn't practice today.
Yeah. Well, the 49ers have had troubles all year in one half or the other. Remember the beginning of the season, they had trouble scoring in the first half. Then it was the second half. They had like an 8-game stretch where they couldn't score in the second half. And now it's back to the first half again. So they really have had very few games this year where they've just put it together and scored in both halves. So
Mark
it's a
says
concern.
Kyle is the biggest concern. Yeah, that's what I'm kind of trying to say here. Like, to me, I like how he has conviction in his decisions, but his decision to roll with Jimmy all year is going to cost this team. What kills me is I really feel like this team is uniquely set up to win a Super Bowl with a rookie quarterback. No team ever could have done it like this team. And they decided to go with, because like Jimmy is experienced, right? He plays like a rookie. So you went with the 30-year-old rookie instead of the 21-year-old rookie. You went with the 30-year-old rookie who can't move or throw down the field over the 21-year-old rookie who has as potent of a skill set as anyone in the league. That's on you. That's a bad decision. So, yeah, Kyle's the biggest concern. Yeah, man, can you find a way to have more than 3 points at halftime, please? Please. Kyle.
Got to.
All right. Which player scares you more, Micah Parsons or Diggs?
Parsons.
Questions. Why?
Parsons. Because Parsons can wreck a game. I mean, right away, getting to the quarterback. The thing about Diggs is he has a major weakness. He gives up the most yards in the NFL. And so it's not like he can't be beat. Parsons just really doesn't have a weakness. You can play him in coverage. You can have him go after the quarterback. And he's elite in both areas. He's an absolute dog. That guy is so good. So yeah, Parsons.
Let me make the argument for Diggs. We're both saying the interception is going to come, right? Well, Diggs.
That's true.
Although
it could be a strip sack from Parsons too.
Could be. It's true because Jimmy Garoppolo, when his body's around him, all of a sudden he wants to hold the ball with one hand. Like, dude, what are you doing?
Mm-hmm.
What is that? I remember covering Alex Smith. He used to put 2 hands on the ball when there were guys around him. It's usually a better strategy. 2 hands on the ball.
I mean, at this point, he's got 4 working fingers, so I would think that 9 is better than 4.
He was asked about that play today, and he was like, it's one of those things. He was like, no, dude, 2 hands on the ball. That's the thing about Jimmy. He always seems like such a pro, but he never takes responsibility for whatever his mistakes, ever. Oh, it was one of those things. No, dude, you needed to have 2 hands on the ball. End of story. All right, moving on. So we said what the Niners should be most concerned about heading into the playoffs. What should the 49ers be most confident about heading into the playoffs?
Well, I'd say that they're battle tested. Like they've gone through a lot this season, and for them to stick together the way they have, it's crazy because you look at this season as a whole, Grant. They started out, they had those couple wins, but overall they started out bad, 3-5. Then they rallied to close out strong. Jimmy G's had ups and downs all season long. That game last week, played out exactly like their season did. It was everything rolled into one. They had injuries at some bad spots. People were playing out of position. Everything that could go wrong did, and they figured out a way to get it done. So the camaraderie on this team, they're battle tested. And I would say this: when you have a quarterback that can be a liability at times, you have to have a really good roster around him. And when you go up and down this roster, I could argue this is the most talented roster, top to bottom, in the NFL. So that is extremely helpful.
Yeah. I would also say other things. The fact that they're undefeated when Deebo Samuel has at least 6 carries in a game. 6. That's attainable. Like they went to Tennessee, gave him 5 and lost. Maybe if you give him 6, because why is 6 a magic number? Well, actually, 7's the magic number. He has a touchdown every 7 carries. So you figure if you give him 8, you give him 8 carries in a game, you're getting a touchdown at 7 points. That's a big advantage because I don't know anyone else in the league that's like that. And it's like this is the guy who averages 18.2 yards per catch. He leads the league in yards per catch, and he happens to be by far the most dangerous rushing threat in the league. Like that. So what I'm trying to say is the Niners have the best player in football. That's what he's not a quarterback, so no one wants to talk about it. He doesn't play. He's not an edge rusher. He's the best player in football. He's a cheat code. His really numbers are crazy. And that's what the Niners have going for him. So Deebo, I mean, it's up to them. I mean, they can give him 20 touches if they want to. I mean, I remember back in the day, the Niners used to do stuff like that with T.O. I remember his Jerry Rice's last game, T.O. caught 20 passes. I mean, there's really the only people limiting what Deebo Samuel can do is Kyle. Yeah, if he wanted, he could give him as many touches as he wanted. I mean, it's a playoff game. So what they have to be confident about is they can just, keep going to Deebo. Be our life jacket. We're losing.
Yeah, I agree with that. And to piggyback off of it, how do you prepare for that on a week's notice? Like it's nearly impossible. Maybe if they can make it to the Super Bowl, whoever faces them gets 2 weeks to prepare. That might help, but it's just one of those things. I really don't know how you prepare for a guy like Deebo on that short of notice. I don't know how you do it.
George says every single media personnel is picking the Niners to beat Dallas. That is a massive red flag. Every time people pick the Niners, always lose, just to be cautious. I agree. That's a good point. And that's kind of why I'm doing
it. Or are you?
Because I really don't want to go to Green Bay. Oh, my goodness. Come on, Dallas. Help me out.
You don't want this season to end, Grant. That's so much content.
I don't. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. Honestly, Micah scares me more because Jimmy loves throwing the linebackers. Micah's going to be rushing the quarterback.
He will a lot, yeah.
I live in Texas, and the Niners fan base is huge here. Expect a massive turnout this Sunday. Yeah, I agree. The Niners fan base is huge. Look at this show. There are 1,500 people watching on YouTube right now. Like my whole career is a testament to how big the Niners fan base is, right? It's huge.
It is. They come in droves.
I mean, everyone was telling me coming up, like, you got to diversify and start talking about the whole league or the rest of like the Giants and the Warriors. Like, no, not really. I could, but I don't have to. Like, this fan base is huge. Dallas has weak DTs run up the middle. Happy birthday, Grant. Thank you. Yeah, I think they shall. I think they will. Deebo got snubbed on an all-pro. When was the all-pro? They came out?
An all-pro? I didn't know that.
He should.
Word?
He's the best player in football who's not a quarterback. And he might, I mean,
how is he not an all-pro? Are you kidding me?
He had a touchdown pass in the last. No one can do as much in the league as he can do. He's the most, what's the word? He's the best player in football. He is. He's underrated. I swear if he had blonde hair and blue eyes, people would be more juiced on him. And that's why everyone's juiced on Cooper Kupp. Can we just say that? I'm sorry. Everyone's juiced on Cooper Kupp because he looks the way he looks. Deebo is better than him. I'm sorry. Ryan says, are the Cowboys players still in COVID protocol? I don't know.
No, a whole slew of them came off today. Parsons, I think, was a part of it, and he's off.
Let's play the over-under game.
Oh, I love over-under. It's been a while, Grant. We haven't been able to do it because we didn't know who the hell was starting at quarterback. All right. Over or under Jimmy Garoppolo, 250.5 passing yards. Keep in mind, he's hit this mark 4 out of the last 5 games.
Under.
Okay. I agree with you, by the way. I think the 49ers are going to try to run the heck out of the ball, take take the ball out of his hands. That's got to be
If
the
it's
smart
over,
thing.
that's bad news for the 49ers.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Because it's not, again, we just talked about it. 4 out of the last 5 games he's gotten there, but they haven't been the best games for him. So, okay. So let's talk about the turnovers then. Over or under 1.5, or excuse me, let's talk about touchdowns. Over or under 1.5 total TDs. He has not reached this mark in the last 3 games started. Above 1.5.
Jimmy?
Yep.
Under. I mean, they're under. That's how I feel.
Okay. It's fair.
This dude has thrown 4 picks in the last 2 games. I saw how Kyle treated him in the playoffs last time. I didn't trust him. Dude, he's gonna throw like 11 passes in this game. Under. Under.
I'm gonna go over. I'm gonna go over
Okay.
just because I feel like one of those yak boys can get it and take it for him. So I'm gonna go over.
All right,
but let's go the same thing with turnovers. Over 1.5 turnovers. 3 out of the last 5 games he has had that.
I'm gonna say under just because I think Kyle is gonna successfully take the game so far out of his hands. Under.
Okay. I'll go under as well. I'm gonna go 2 touchdowns, 1 interception.
Oh, okay. Damn. Big Jimmy Garoppolo guy over here.
Yeah.
You and Jackhammer, he's always in lockstep and how much you love Jimmy. Man. All right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
49ers, 135.5 rushing yards. They've done that 8 times this season. You're going over. Okay. It has to be, right? They have to go over.
They want to win.
I agree. Dallas gives up a lot of yards.
Because Mitchell and Debo are healthy. Over. And Kyle has, is mentally healthy. Over.
Okay. All right.
He's got this.
I think I know where you're going with this one because you said there's not going to be a lot of passes thrown, but Ayuk, 50.5 yards receiving. He's eclipsed that 6 out of the last 8 games.
I'm going to go over because I feel like it's going to be Kittle and Debo who are going to be muted in the passing. It seems to me like Ayuk is their guy. Jennings is a secret weapon, but whenever defenses overplay Kittle and Debo, you get burned by a 30-yard catch by Ayuk, right? I think I'm going to say over. Over.
Okay. I'm going to go under.
He's getting a lot of one-on-ones. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
He is. No, he's really good, and I like Ayuk. Yeah. I just got a feeling it's not going to be his game.
Okay.
Debo Samuel, over or under 100.5 yards. He's done that 8 times this season. He's reached at least 100.5. Over?
Yeah.
I go under. I go under. I think it's going to be a big game for Kittle. I think Kittle's going to be the one this week. I don't have a Kittle one on here, but Kittle's the one for me that I think has a big game. So I'm going to go under for Debo. Okay, 49ers defense. They average 3 sacks per game. Do they get over 2.5?
Yes, over.
Okay. Because Dallas has a really good offensive line though, Grant. Like the outside guys. The interior is kind of weak. So maybe Armstead has a big game again.
I'm just really impressed with the Niners pass rush right now. I was in Cincinnati being like, man, this pass rush is weak. And ever since then, they've just been they swarm Burrow, they swarm Tannehill. I'm impressed. I'm not betting against this pass rush right now. Over.
Yeah, I feel like this defensive line right now is on fire. They're every bit as scary as they were in 2019, in my opinion, right now at this very moment.
They are.
I'm going to go over as well.
Damn.
Yeah, he's really good. Shout out Bay Area Baller for calling that one.
Yep. Legendary take, dude. Honestly, I know he's watching right now. Like you will live in not infamy, the opposite of infamy. You're famous for that. You called that. I was like, I don't know, Samson Nebicon. You're like, dude, you're missing it. Arden Key. You were right. You were right. Everyone follow Bay Area Baller. He was right. Anyway,
he was right.
He was right.
Okay. And the last one, I think this is a huge one. Can they hold the Cowboys under 85.5 rushing yards? They've done that 5 out of the last 9 games on defense. 85.5.
I think they can. Yes. Under. I think they can.
Really?
I think they can. Zeke, I'm not impressed. I think he's washed.
I think Zeke's Pollard. Washed as well.
I like Pollard, but I don't know how many carries he can get. Yes. Under.
Zeke is washed. I agree with that. I saw it immediately game 1 of the season. A lot of people said it was Tampa's defense. I just don't see the explosiveness from him. They like to run to the outside. That's how they pick up a lot of their yards. And if Aziz is there, Greenlaw, and Fred Warner, I just don't see it happening. I agree with you. I'm going with the under. So we both have the 49ers rushing for over 135.5, and we both have them holding the Cowboys under 85.5. That bodes very well for the San Francisco 49ers.
Yep. Kyle's counter run plays will take Parsons out of the play. Jimmy throws for 350 and 4 TDs. Kidding. Okay.
Oh, I was like, dang.
Damn. Wow. I would have definitely a different opinion of Jimmy. Over or under on land snaps, 2.
Under.
Jesse competing with Rob on camera clarity. Yeah, Jesse's killing it right now. I gotta get my game up, man.
It's a camera trick. I wish I could tell you, but I hold all the secrets.
Okay. Dallas 12-5 record in a way is a joke. 6-0 in their division, 6-5 versus teams outside the division. Niners are more battle testing as contenders. Agree.
That's true. That's true. But they do have a couple really good wins. I want to give them credit for beating the Patriots on the road. I think that was a really, really big win for them. Like that one is the most impressive.
They got some bad losses though. They lost to Denver by 14. Now the Niners lost to Colt McCoy. So you know what? It happens. Every time you guys say over, I like to pretend you're talking on walkie-talkies. Like that. Over. Grant, tell us about when you first realized Debo was fast. Training camp, his rookie year, just him running down the field. I was like, just watching him I'm terrible at scouting, but just watching him at South Carolina, I didn't see that at all. And seeing him on the field against cornerbacks, I could tell that he was really freaking fast. So I have to say, like,
was this before or after you noticed his enormous glutes?
A little after. He's thick as.
I'll never let that take go.
I was right though. He's definitely built like a running back. All right,
he is built like a running back.
He is. All right. What are the keys of the game, in your opinion, Jesse?
Okay, so we talked about the run game both ways. Obviously, that's a huge key, but it's turnovers. So here's the thing about Dallas. All but 4 games this season, they've created at least 1 turnover. All but 4 games, they've also turned the ball over. So they will turn the ball over as well. Mm-hmm. Whoever wins the turnover battle, and especially when I look at Dallas, for me, when I see a high-powered offense, and I believe Dallas has the number 1 scoring offense in the NFL, when I see a high-powered offense, yes, obviously you want a great defense, but when you have a defense that's opportunistic the way that the Dallas Cowboys are, that is the perfect defense to pair with a high-powered offense. It's what the Chiefs were able to win a Super Bowl with and get to a second Super Bowl with. So they've got that formula. The 49ers have to figure out a way to protect the ball. Now, one thing that is in their favor, Elijah Mitchell, I think, only has 1 fumble on the season. It was off of a penalty. So really, he has no lost fumbles. As long as they can limit Jimmy G's touches as far as throwing the ball or throwing the ball downfield, whatever. I don't know how they're going to do that, but that is the key to the game. They have to make sure that they protect the football. If they can somehow get out of this without any turnovers, that's huge. And the other thing is this, anytime Dallas scores first in a game, they are 9-0. So you talked about 17-0. I'm not going to say they can't let Dallas score first, but they cannot get down 2 scores early.
Yeah, I would say 6 carries for Debo. That's the magic number. 7, just to be careful. Definitely do that. That's extremely important. And then also, of course, Elijah Mitchell is really important, but like, could you get Jeff Wilson Jr. involved just a little bit? Because it's nice giving Elijah Mitchell 24 carries, but he's not going to make it if you do this. He's not going to make it. And you're going to lose a playoff game because you won't have him. So instead of giving him 23, 24 carries, could you give him 17, 18? Could you do that? Just could you preserve Elijah Mitchell? Because I'm telling you, as soon as he breaks down, it's over. So preserve him. That's the key to the game. But the fact that they have these 2 guys, I mean, they should be able to control and play the game the way they want to play it. 17 carries for Elijah Mitchell, 7 for Debo, 7 for Wilson. Can we get a 17-7-7 split? How about that? 17-7-5. How about that?
Yeah, you're right.
Win that way. That's the key to the game, right? And just keep this. Don't let Jimmy lose the game. That's the other key to it. Don't let Jimmy lose it. Make sure Jimmy doesn't lose the game. He does certain things well, but don't throw the ball up for grabs when you're getting hit. You did that twice in the last game. Come on, man. If Trey Lance did that, people be like, man, he won't be ready for 8 years. But you do it, and people are like, no, it's all right. Don't do that. If you're going to get hit, just take the sack or throw it away or anything but throwing it into triple coverage, which you did twice. That's another key to the game.
Well, this wasn't a topic, but I want to ask you, did that game that they won this last Sunday, did that do anything to Jimmy's trade value in your opinion?
1 touchdown, 2 picks, 1 fumble? No.
I'm just asking.
No, for Niner fans, it's emotional. They were down. They came back. They won. For Jimmy Garoppolo fans, it's vindicating, but no. He's thrown 2 touchdowns and 4 picks the last 2 games. What Kyle's thinking is not, my quarterback's hot. I got to throw. He's thinking, my quarterback is going to lose the season. I got to make sure. Maybe we should throw 4 times in this game. 4? 3. Maybe 3. Patriots did it. Why can't we?
Yeah.
I mean, really, that's what I would think. He says nice things in press conferences, but if you're being honest, you got to think like he's not practicing really right now. I mean, he's got a messed up thumb, he says. So maybe we need to run the ball again and again and again. To me, that drive down 17-10 where they ran 10 straight times was the turning point in the season. That was it. If they win the Super Bowl, you will go to that point right there. Right there. That was it.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, you absolutely have to take the ball out of his hands, and it's unfortunate. We'll see how it plays out. We'll see how it plays
champions
out.
If they'd taken the ball out of his hands in the 4th quarter of the Super Bowl. I just still, but they didn't have Elijah Mitchell back then. They had Mostert. They don't have the same level of confidence in him. What player impressed you most this year? Oh, Jimmy.
Just kidding. Really? Ward? Jimmy Ward?
Yeah. How about Debo? Are you kidding?
Yeah, Debo.
Well, freaking Debo. Also, Elijah Mitchell. I didn't see this coming. Those two I've been the engine of that team.
I agree. Elijah Mitchell for me.
Mitch Wishnowsky, of course. Who else? I'm trying to think. Who else deserves some kudos?
I mean, Jennings for the improvement.
Tom Compton. I mean, he's not a good player, but he didn't everyone thought he's going to lose the season. Didn't lose the season.
They've looked really good since McGlinchey went down. Like really, really good.
Hey Grant, you got to say pause after you say that, man. I don't know what you're talking about. I really
talking
think
about his glutes, maybe.
I really think Cowboys are going to sell to stop the running game. Yeah, I would think so.
That's fine.
Of course they are. Dan Quinn knows what's up. I would too. The Niners will be able to run to the outside on Dallas, Trent, Kittle, on Tank, Gregory, or Parsons. Their DBs aren't aggressive as the Niners receivers. Well, that bodes well. That definitely bodes well. Thank you for your insight.
A lot of DBs don't like to tackle.
No, absolutely. Nope. Thomas Tyler says, Jimmy said he lives for those moments, and it's what you dream about in regards to last-minute game. When he drives, he's creating them on purpose. Hey, man. A firefighter needs work, right? You can't – the firefighter does nothing without fire, right? So he's giving himself.
Are you saying he's a firefighter that lives in a small town?
Will Jimmy throw 8 passes this game? Tops.
Yes.
Tops.
He will.
Tops. Yeah. All right. Prediction time.
Oh, man.
Who you got?
Okay. Maybe it's overconfidence. I don't know. But I feel really, really good about this game. I feel really good about this playoff run.
Ooh.
Like if you had me judge this on a scale of 1 to 10 for this game, my confidence meter is at an 8. I don't know if that's good or bad. I picked them to lose last week, so take this with a grain of salt. But I really think the Niners are going to win this game. I'm going to go 31-24 San Francisco. And I think at the end of the day, they're just going to run the hell out of the ball. At some point, Dallas is going to tap out. Maybe Dallas scores. Actually, I think they might run away with it. I could see it to where Dallas makes it a 7-point game, but that's because they score last in desperation and then try to like an onside kick to get the ball back, and that's game over. So, yeah, I'm going to go 49ers 31-24.
I know I'm supposed to have a score. I don't have one, but I agree with you. I'm picking the Niners to win this game. Now that Trent Williams has said he's going to play, I feel pretty confident about it. As long as Kyle Shanahan doesn't lose his mind and just decide he wants to throw in this game, he should be okay. Now, the one X factor that gives me pause is the fact that Dan Quinn is the DC. And the last time the Niners faced Dan Quinn was 2019. Dan Quinn totally shut down Raheem Mostert, won the game. He knows what you got to do against Kyle. He knows it's all about shutting down Elijah Mitchell and Debo in the backfield, and that, while Kittle can hurt you, it's not about Kittle. It's about their running backs. So that gives Dallas a real chance. The fact that they know what they need to do. So many teams go against the Niners and don't get it. I think they get it. And if you will watch, like in the first quarter, if Elijah Mitchell isn't doing anything and Debo isn't doing anything and they can't run the ball, the Niners are in big trouble. But I think that even though Dan Quinn knows what he needs to do, I don't know if that they have the personnel to pull it off. So I'm still picking the Niners to win this game.
Yeah, the 49ers run game has started off very slow the last couple of weeks, and that's why they haven't been able to score early on. So it's been like a culmination and finally just breaking through. And once they broke through, it was like snowball rolling downhill. But you're right. I mean, early on, they may struggle. And what happens in that case? If Dallas jumps out, it could get ugly. So
it could get ugly. Because again, what I keep coming back to is like, let's say the Niners don't run the ball well early and they have 3 points in the first half. And Dallas is the number one offense in the league. They get to 14, 17, 20 points in the first half. Their run game isn't great, but it's better than the Rams with what that design is crap. And their offensive line is weak and their running backs are weak. I mean, all of it. Like the Cowboys have enough to actually put win with a 2-score lead. If you spot Dallas a 2-scored lead, it's over, I think. So don't do that.
I agree.
I don't think they will. I don't think they will.
I don't think so either. I think they can hold Dallas. I really do.
I do. Well, Jimmy Garoppolo, but again, my thing is like, can you win? Can you beat Dallas without wearing out Elijah Mitchell? Because you got to win 4 games, not 1. 4 games. So can you find a way to beat Dallas without wearing out Elijah Mitchell?
Well, if they do get to 4 games, at least they get the bye week before game 4. So that's helpful.
Juan says, will Jimmy Garoppolo throw more passes this playoff run versus 2019? He better not, man.
How many games are they going to play? That goes into it for sure.
How we take Jimmy out and put Lance and watch them run happy birthday, Grant. How we win, take Jimmy out. Yeah. I like that.
It ain't going to happen.
It's not going to happen.
Not happening.
Here's a big what if. If Jimmy does take us to the Super Bowl and wins, will it mess up anything salary cap wise?
No, only if they keep him.
Yeah.
Only if they
Jimmy
keep
goes
him.
to the Super Bowl and wins. I mean, look, if Jimmy goes to the Super Bowl and wins, that means that Elijah Mitchell stayed healthy.
Well, that would mean a lot of things went right for this team, and it's not, but we'd have to give him credit, right? Like we both said we would. So
I'll give him a salute and a thumbs up and a happy face and a smiley face and a gold star. But I'm still trading him. I know what
I am too. Yeah.
I know what he's not going to magically improve over the next 3 weeks. If they win a Super Bowl, it's going to be because Elijah Mitchell carried the ball 30 times a game and played like Terrell Davis. End of story. Richie says, if the front 7 plays like last game against the Rams, we win. Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That front 7's menacing.
Fun fact, Cowboys beat just one playoff team this entire year, and that was against a rookie in the 6th start.
Mac Jones.
Oof. Yeah, I think the Niners should feel pretty good about this. How could you be at 8 when nearly every win needs a miracle? Niner Nation should be fixed at 3 and then thank God when a win happens. I don't get it. What are those numbers?
Well, I said that I'm scale of 1 to 10. My confidence meter is at an 8. Like I said, don't take any of my predictions for gold because I picked them to lose to the Rams. So,
with Trent being back, what will Mitchell run for? 125.
I think the team can go for 145. I'm going to go 95 for Mitchell.
I feel it. All right. Well, that would be something for Dan Quinn. Remember, Dan Quinn limited Mostert to like 45 yards 2 years ago.
I think that, well, again, X factor though, like Debo's there now. Debo's running the ball. That's a huge
point. That's a good point.
We'll see. But you're right. That's a matchup nightmare. Round 1, you don't want that.
All right, everyone. Well, tomorrow I'll be here with Jason. And then Friday, I'm flying off to Arlington to get the full North Texas experience. Looking forward to it, everyone.
That's going to be dope.
It's going to
be dope. Happy birthday, Grant. Everybody give him a happy birthday tomorrow. Tomorrow's his birthday. Wear your birthday hats in the stream. Do what you got to do. Show him some love. I'm hoping that the Niners make it to Tampa so we can kick it. I know. Me too, man. That would be so fantastic. If they can somehow do that, yeah, that's the dream right there.
I mean, I'm hoping that's next round. Can I just avoid Green Bay? Green Bay, come on, because you can't fly. I think all those flights are already booked up. You got to fly into Chicago and drive up. Like, can I
It's
please not?
impossible. It's impossible for him to play Tampa round 2 though. So
So bad. Did you play football to talk as cocky and arrogant as you do, Grant? Seriously, we would have thought you were a football player or something. No, but I did play. But I did stay at a Holiday Inn Express last night. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone. I'll be back tomorrow. Thank you, Jesse.
All right, y'all. Come over to Last Second Sports.
I can take the slander when it's